everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Okay, good. Today we're going to be looking at Fourth Wing.
Oh, Fourth Wing, yes.
Yeah, it's a fantasy novel. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's been pretty popular.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it.
And it takes place in this kingdom called Navarre.
Okay.
And it's really interesting because the whole kingdom is protected by these magical wards.
Hmm.
And they have these dragon riders who are like the elite warriors that defend the kingdom.
So it's like a combination of magic and military might.
Exactly. And what we're going to be doing today is really digging deep into the culture, the hierarchy, the challenges that these aspiring dragon riders face.
It's fascinating how the author blends high-stakes action with this really intricate character development.
Right.
You get to understand the history and politics of the Var, but it's all through the eyes of our main character, Violet Sorrengail.
Yeah, and Violet's story is really, really interesting because of the dilemma that she faces. So she's the daughter of this legendary general.
Okay, so following in her mother's footsteps.
Yeah, that's what everyone expects.
Right.
But as we kind of find out, she's not really cut out to be a dragon rider
Uh-huh.
physically.
Yeah.
And she even says at one point, I'm going to quote this, "I should have been playing on a balance beam."
Oh, wow. Yeah, that tells you she is definitely not prepared.
Not prepared at all for the training of the Rider's Quadrant. But you know what I find so compelling about Violet?
What's that?
She's so resilient. Like, it's not just that she doesn't give up. It's how she navigates this world that seems like it's trying to break her.
Yeah.
But before we get too far into that, can you explain what the Rider's Quadrant is for our listener? Because not everyone's going to know that, right?
Oh, absolutely. The Riders Quadrant is one of 4 training grounds within Navarre's military academy.
Okay.
And it's the most prestigious and definitely the most dangerous. This is where they train the dragon riders, the elite.
And the selection process is well, I was going to say brutal. It is brutal.
Oh, it is.
Oh.
It is. The first challenge they have to face is something called the parapet.
Mhm.
It's this narrow bridge, and it's perched high above this valley. I mean, treacherous valley. And these candidates, they have to cross this bridge facing strong winds. They could fall to their deaths.
It's crazy. I mean, even her own sister, Mira, warns her about the wind and how dangerous it is. So, knowing all this and knowing her own limitations, like, why does she even choose this path?
It's a question that really drives a lot of the early part of the story.
Hmm.
At first, it seems like it's societal pressure, family expectations.
Yeah.
You have to follow in your mother's footsteps.
Right.
But as the story unfolds, you start to see this deeper yearning within Violet. Like she wants to prove herself, break free from the limitations everyone else has put on her.
I love that. And speaking of pushing her limits, let's talk about the wing leader, Zayden Ryerson.
Oh, Zayden, yeah.
He just seems to have it out for Violet, like right from the start.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely this tension there. And it's one of the things that keeps you reading, Is it personal? Is he just a tough instructor? The author does a really good job of, not revealing his motivations right away. Keeps you guessing.
It's like, yeah, what is his deal?
Yeah.
But it's not just him, it's the whole training. They're pushing these candidates to the absolute limit. Physically, it's demanding. There's the threat of death. The whole atmosphere is just so tense.
Well, a great example of this is the Gauntlet.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? I mean, you see one candidate, Sawyer, go through it, and he's just like effortless.
Smooth, right.
Smooth. Makes it look easy.
Yeah.
But then you have Kynan, and he is struggling. He's scared.
Yeah.
And it really brings home the danger.
That's so interesting because it makes you think, what does that symbolize? The gauntlet. It's got to be more than just a physical test, right?
It is. It really is. It's like a microcosm of all the challenges that Violet faces throughout the story.
Okay.
I mean, the obstacles, the elements, she constantly has to adapt. It's just like her internal struggles, facing her fears, the pressure from everyone.
And the way she uses her intellect to get through it.
Oh, absolutely.
She's not the strongest, not the fastest, but she thinks outside the box. She uses her knowledge.
She's resourceful.
Yeah.
And it's such a key part of who she is. Because in this world, it's all about physical prowess,
Right.
But she shows that intelligence and strategy can be just as important.
Yeah.
Especially with dragon riding.
And then there's the stopping time thing.
Oh, right.
Which is it's like, completely changes everything, right? What does that even mean for someone training to be a dragon rider?
Well, this ability that she has to manipulate time, it's a blessing and a curse, really.
Oh, how so?
I mean, think about it. She can assess a situation, react faster than anyone else. That's a huge advantage tactically,
Right.
but it's forbidden. If anyone finds out,
She's in trouble.
big trouble.
Yeah. And that makes her situation even more precarious. But let's talk about the dragons themselves for a second. I mean, we know that they're super important to this world.
Oh, there's ten.
Can you give the listener a little more background on like their significance in Nevarese culture?
So, dragons in Navarre, they're more than just powerful creatures. They represent strength, courage, survival.
Hmm.
They're woven into the history, the mythology of the kingdom. They're protectors, guardians.
Wow.
And the bond between a dragon and a rider, that's sacred.
It has to be built on trust,
Absolutely. Mutual respect, trust. It's a partnership.
which makes the threshing ceremony so important.
Oh, yeah, the threshing. That's where it all happens. First year cadets, they gather in this arena and they're hoping to attract a dragon.
And the dragons choose, right?
They choose their rider, and they say that that choice, it reflects the rider's character, their potential. But with Violet, well, two dragons choose her.
Wait, two dragons? What?
Tarn, a powerful black dragon, and Andarna, a golden one.
That's never happened before, right?
Never. It throws everyone for a loop. I mean, why her? What does it mean? Is it a good thing, a bad thing? No one knows. And it really sets the stage for everything that comes next.
That's crazy. And it also explains the tension between her and Zazen, right?
It does. You see, Taryn, the black dragon who chose Violet,
Yeah.
he's actually the mate of Zayden's dragon.
Oh, wow.
So their dragons are literally bound to each other, just like their riders are going to be.
So it's like their fates are intertwined.
Exactly.
That changes everything. We've been seeing Violet's trust in Zaden building, and now we have to rethink everything. But before we get into their relationship, let's talk about the other big threat, the Venin. Can you explain what they are and why they're so dangerous?
Yeah, the Venin, oh, they're more than just monsters. They're this primal force,
Okay.
like left over from an ancient conflict.
Wow.
And they could destroy everything Navarre stands for. I mean, they're creatures of darkness, corrupt humans, twist them into these monstrous forms.
So not just a physical threat.
No, no, no. It's deeper than that.
Corrupting, too.
Exactly.
It's a whole other level of complexity. But what are they after? Why Navarre? And are they even real?
Ah, that's the question, isn't it? Is it all a myth? Just a story to keep people in line? Or are they a real threat waiting to strike? The author does a great job of keeping us guessing.
Okay, so we've got a determined main character, a world full of magic, these ancient threats, and all these relationships that are just like shifting all the time. Where do we go from here? What's the next level of this deep dive?
Well, now we go deeper into the mystery. As Violet trains, she starts to uncover secrets. Secrets that have been hidden for centuries.
Ooh, secrets.
They challenge everything she thought she knew about Navarre, her family, even herself, and those secrets are going to lead her down a path of discovery, betrayal, confrontation. She'll have to face a destiny she never could have imagined.
It really does feel like she's walking this tightrope.
Oh, yeah.
Like on one side she's got all the pressure of proving herself, and
Yeah.
then on the other side there's this feeling that something just isn't right in Navarre.
It's true. There's this undercurrent of suspicion, and it just pulls you in.
It really does.
You have to keep reading. You have to find out what's going on.
Yeah, and then we have that big reveal,
Aye.
Aiden and his squad.
Hmm.
They're descendants of the Separatists.
The ones who rebelled against Navarre.
Right. I mean, it just makes you look at him in a whole new light.
It really does. All his actions, his attitude toward Violet.
It's like, was any of it real, or was he just playing a part this whole time?
Exactly. Was it all just to further the rebellion's goals?
And it all comes out when Violet is starting to fall for him.
That betrayal, it cuts deep.
It's personal and political all at once.
And that's where the author's skill really shines through.
How so?
He sees a Zayden struggling with this internal conflict.
Right. He's got this duty to his family, to their cause.
But he's also drawn to Violet. She challenges him. She sees him for who he really is.
So is there any way for him to balance those two sides of himself?
That's the big question. Can he be loyal to the rebellion and to Violet?
Or is it all going to come crashing down?
You really root for them, but you know it's not going to be easy.
So let's talk about the dragons again for a minute.
Sure.
You mentioned that two dragons chose Violet, right?
Yeah, Taryn and Andorna.
What does that mean for her, having this double bond?
It's really unprecedented. It makes her this anomaly in their world.
Right. One rider for each dragon is the norm.
Exactly. But she's got two,
Yeah.
and they each have their own personality, their own way of interacting with her.
Tell me about them.
Okay, so Taryn, the black dragon, he's all about power, strength, very protective of Violet.
Okay, powerful.
Yeah, and demanding, even grumpy sometimes.
Grumpy dragon, that's funny.
But deep down, he's loyal and very connected to Skiteril, his mate.
Be a guns drag.
Right, so you have this really fascinating dynamic with those four.
Their fates are all tied together.
And then you have Andarna, the golden dragon. She's much more playful.
Oh, interesting.
And she communicates more, offers guidance and support.
It's like Violet has two mentors.
Yeah, two different aspects of what it means to be a dragon rider.
Terran is strength, and Darna is wisdom.
Yeah, it adds this whole other layer to her development as a rider.
And then there's Dane. Dane.
Oh, right, her childhood friend.
He's got feelings for her.
Definitely.
It's like he represents the life she could have had if she hadn't chosen this path.
He's stable, dependable, and he truly cares for her.
It's another layer of tension. She's got these two very different paths in front of her.
It's more than just a love triangle. It's about the choices we make, the sacrifices we have to live with.
Okay, back to the training itself.
Yeah.
What is she going through on a daily basis?
Imagine this. You're flying through the air on a dragon.
The wind in your hair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hundreds of feet above the ground, learning to control this powerful creature. It's exhilarating.
But there's always that danger.
Always. And the physical demands are intense.
And she's always got to prove herself.
The training is designed to be tough, to push them to their limits.
Right. We see her exhausted, injured, even doubting herself sometimes.
But she never gives up.
She's determined. It's amazing.
It's remarkable. She's not the strongest or the biggest, but she has.
So it's this mix of beauty and danger where loyalty is tested all the time.
And Violet is right in the middle of it all.
Trying to find her place, figure out her destiny.
And it's her journey that draws us in, her struggles that we connect with.
It's inspiring.
Absolutely. And then we have that turning point, the training exercise that goes wrong.
Yeah. What happened?
It exposes Xaden completely and everything changes.
Tell me more about that. Where do we go from here?
Well, now we enter a world of espionage, deception. It's a fight for survival against enemies from both inside and outside Navarre.
Sounds intense.
Oh, it is. You'll be on the edge of your seat wanting to know what happens to Violet and the kingdom.
This training exercise, it sounds like more than just a test.
Oh, it's a major turning point. That's when everything starts to unravel. The lines between the exercise and reality, they just blur. And it leads to this confrontation that exposes everything that's been going on beneath the surface in Navarre.
And it all revolves around this place called Athabine, which is like it shouldn't even exist, right?
Right. It's a hidden outpost. And that's where everything starts to click into place. We realize the extent of Xaden's deception.
So Athabine is more than just an outpost. It's like a secret base for the rebellion.
Exactly. A stronghold where they've been working to weaken Navarre's defenses.
And Xaden, the guy Violet's falling for, he's been a part of this the whole time.
It's a huge blow for Violet. She's dealing with the pressure of training, her family legacy, and then this. The guy she's starting to care for, he's been lying to her.
Betrayal on a whole other level. How does she even process that?
You know, what's amazing is she doesn't fall apart. Instead, she becomes even more determined. She hardens.
The heartbreak, the anger, it fuels her.
Right. She's going to protect Navarre, even if it means going up against the man she loves.
So it becomes bigger than just her personal journey. Now it's about survival. A battle against these forces that are trying to tear Navarre apart from the inside.
And it's not just about military strength or tactics. It's about trust, broken alliances. It's about facing these moral dilemmas where right and wrong aren't so clear.
And that's where the Vinin come in.
Right.
They become very real.
Oh yeah, they're not just a myth anymore, a scary story. They're a clear and present danger, and they can destroy everything in their path.
They represent the chaos that's threatening to overwhelm Navarre.
Exactly. It's like this primal force trying to unravel the kingdom's society.
And they're terrifying. What are they like? I mean, for those listening who haven't read the book, can you describe them?
Imagine creatures born from darkness.
Okay.
Twisted and corrupted by magic. If they touch you, they can turn you into something monstrous. They're like nightmares come to life. A constant reminder that everything can be destroyed.
It's not just their physical presence, it's what they represent.
It's that corrupting influence. They take what's familiar and twist it into something horrifying. They prey on fear and doubt.
So you've got the rebellion driven by revenge.
Hmm.
And you've got these Venin who are basically chaos and destruction personified. And Violet is stuck in the middle.
She has to pick a side, confront her own inner demons, and fight for a future that seems very uncertain.
But she comes through it. She becomes so much stronger.
She does. She does. It's a trial by fire. It pushes her to her absolute limit, but it reveals her true potential. By the end, she's not that unsure girl we met at the beginning.
Right.
Beginning.
Right. She's a leader, a warrior, someone who brings hope to a really dark situation.
And it's her resilience, that ability to adapt and overcome, that makes her story so compelling. Compelling.
But she's not alone, right? She has the other dragon riders, her friends, Taryn and Darna.
Yes, their loyalty and support give her strength. They embody the spirit of Navarre, that sense of connection, of camaraderie that goes beyond politics or personal goals.
And then we get to the climax. All this action, emotion, and some huge revelations.
It's a battle on multiple fronts, a fight for survival, both inside and outside Navarre's walls. And that's where we see Violet's true destiny unfold. She makes incredibly difficult choices, sacrifices that leave a mark. But we see how strong she truly is.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
Fourth Wing is a complex story. It's got great characters, and it makes you think.
It's a book that stays with you. You question things, you think about loyalty, betrayal, the choices we make when things are tough.
So for our listeners, if you're looking for a story that's got action, great characters, a world that's beautiful and terrifying at the same time, and a heroine who rises to the challenge, check out Fourth Wing.
And here's something to consider. We see Violet become this amazing leader, but what about Azaden? Can he redeem himself? Can he reconcile what he's done with who he wants to be, and what role will he play in the future? Those are questions I hope we'll get answers to in the next book.
That's a great question. Well, we encourage everyone to keep exploring, keep thinking critically, and keep diving deep into the stories that inspire you. We'll be back soon with another deep dive, ready to uncover more amazing stories. Welcome back.